In a significant move that underscores ongoing tensions in international trade, U.S. President Donald Trump remains steadfast in his commitment to implement tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico. White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt confirmed this intention during her initial press briefing on Tuesday, emphasizing that the administration is also contemplating additional tariffs on Chinese goods. #background. The tariff announcement. Shortly after assuming office, President Trump announced a deadline of February 1st for imposing a substantial 25% tariff on goods imported from Mexico and Canada. This decision is contingent upon the two countries taking measures to curtail the influx of illegal immigration into the United States and addressing the opioid crisis, particularly the flow of fentanyl, a potent synthetic opioid that has contributed to a significant rise in overdose deaths in the U.S. In parallel, Trump has indicated plans to impose a 10% tariff on Chinese imports, citing China's involvement in the fentanyl trade as a central concern. This dual focus on both neighboring countries and a major global competitor reflects a broader strategy aimed at addressing what the Trump administration perceives as significant threats to American public health and national security. #The rationale behind the tariffs. President Trump's approach to tariffs is rooted in the America First policy, which seeks to prioritize U.S. interests in trade negotiations and economic policies. By leveraging tariffs as a tool, the administration aims to compel Canada and Mexico to cooperate on immigration and drug trafficking issues. The rationale is that economic pressure can serve as an incentive for these countries to take more robust action against illegal activities that directly impact the U.S. The opioid epidemic, particularly the rise of fentanyl, has emerged as a critical issue in U.S. politics, contributing to a national health crisis. By framing the tariffs as a response to this crisis, Trump seeks to connect trade policy with public health initiatives, thereby rallying support among constituents who are affected by the opioid epidemic. The economic impact of tariffs. The potential introduction of tariffs raises questions about the economic implications for all parties involved. Tariffs can lead to increased costs for consumers and businesses that rely on imported goods. In the case of Canada and Mexico, two of the U.S.'s largest trading partners, these tariffs could disrupt supply chains and lead to retaliatory measures. Canadian and Mexican officials have expressed concerns over the potential economic fallout. Both countries are integral to North American trade, and any significant changes in tariff policies could result in increased prices for consumers and reduced competitiveness for businesses. The interconnected nature of the economies means that tariffs could have ripple effects, impacting not only trade but also jobs and economic growth. Reactions from Canada and Mexico. In response to Trump's tariff threats, officials from Canada and Mexico have emphasized the need for dialogue and cooperation rather than punitive measures. Both countries have suggested that constructive engagement is essential for addressing the challenges posed by illegal immigration and drug trafficking. They have pointed out that tariffs could undermine the progress made under the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA, which was designed to enhance trade relations among the three nations. Leavitt's confirmation that the February 1st deadline for implementing tariffs still holds suggests that the Trump administration is prepared to move forward with its plans, regardless of potential pushback from its neighbors. This stance highlights the administration's willingness to take a hardline approach to trade and border security issues. The broader context of U.S.-China relations. The consideration of fresh tariffs on China adds another layer of complexity to the global trade landscape. The U.S. has been engaged in an ongoing trade war with China, characterized by a series of tariff exchanges that have impacted various sectors of both economies. By targeting Chinese imports, Trump aims to address not only the fentanyl issue but also broader concerns regarding trade imbalances and intellectual property theft. China's role in the global supply chain makes it a critical player in any discussion of tariffs. The imposition of tariffs on Chinese goods could lead to escalated tensions, potentially prompting retaliatory measures from China that could affect American businesses and consumers. The political landscape ahead of elections. As the February 1st deadline approaches, the political ramifications of Trump's tariff plans will be closely watched. With a federal election expected in Canada as early as this spring, the timing of the tariff announcement adds a layer of urgency to the situation. Canadian politicians will have to navigate the complexities of foreign relations while addressing domestic concerns related to trade and the economy. In the U.S., Trump's tariff strategy may resonate with his base, particularly among voters who prioritize border security and economic nationalism. However, the potential economic repercussions may also prompt pushback from various stakeholders, including businesses and consumers who could face higher prices and disrupted supply chains. Conclusion. The future of North American trade relations. The planned tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China represent a critical moment in U.S. trade policy. As President Trump seeks to fulfill his commitments to protect American interests, the implications for international relations, economic stability, and domestic politics are significant. The interplay between trade, immigration, and public health will continue to shape the discourse surrounding these policies as stakeholders navigate the complexities of a rapidly changing global landscape. In the coming weeks, as the deadline approaches, the response from Canada and Mexico will be crucial in determining the future of North American trade relations. The dynamics of tariffs, negotiations, and international cooperation will play a defining role in shaping the economic landscape for years to come.